Wow, this scene hits pretty differently now, huh? Up until Kingdom Hearts 3, the enemy of the Kingdom Hearts series has always been a form of Xehanort. We've seen him as a Heartless, we've seen him as a nobody, we've seen him as an elder, we've seen him take over others, and we've seen him in his youth. While the stories and information about his upbringing and character have been scattered across Kingdom Hearts media, we are now set to get some insight to his upbringing thanks to Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, on which we are promised that we'll find out why he became a Seeker of Darkness and why he decided to take the Dark Road. But from the first episode alone, we can get an idea on why he decided to choose the darkness, and why many may now question their understanding of the character. What's up guys, it's HMK once again with another Kingdom Hearts Dark Road video looking into the sadness and sorrow of Xehanort. I hope you are prepared for this one. Be sure to subscribe for more Kingdom Hearts content, and with that being said, let's dive directly into the darkness. When you would think about Xehanort's deeds and twisted understanding, you would think that he was always like this, true to his own values that he understood from the beginning. But as it turns out, in Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, he had a rather pleasant, albeit boring upbringing. And even then, he had a very pleasant demeanor, which you can see hints of in his youth and his old age. It was when he first decided to step through a corridor of darkness to his destiny at Xehanort. There, he started to become a Keyblade wielder, and there, he had friends. They got along with him extremely well. His companions and classmates, Ericus, Bragi, Ermad, Veor, and Erd. It is also assumed that he got along with Baldur as well. He was beloved so much that the other classmates either looked up to him or respected him for his insight and overall likability. Overall, he gave off the air to his comrades that he is someone they can depend on and that he can depend on them as well. And from the interactions we've seen, Xehanort also returned their affection, so it's not like he was aloof, cool, or distant. In particular, we've seen that he's had a multitude of chess matches with his best friend Ericus, which gives us an understanding on how he would treat the others. And even in his youth, he had a keen understanding of the worlds, Keyblade, and light and darkness, as well as the Heartless, even the Book of Prophecies. So, with all that knowledge and potential, why would he turn to take the Dark Road? Why would he turn out to this ominous figure that has plagued the Kingdom Hearts series up until his last breath? That's because eventually in his life, everything would come crashing down. Thanks to the ending of episode 1, at some point, more than 4 years after his arrival at Xehanort, it would seem that 4 of his companions have died, as we see here him laying flowers on 4 graves, who are to be understood as some of the best friends he's ever had. As they were Keyblade wielders, and as it seems that they were pretty young in age, they were more than likely killed in action, within events that were more than likely incorporated with Xehanort, as hinted by Ericus, who is still alive at this point. But considering that Xehanort's class was made up of 7, that leaves room for 1 survivor. The common interpretations include that of Baldur, as we have yet to see him, and that of Veor, which people are still running with the notion that she could be Kairi's grandmother in her old age. Either way, Xehanort definitely mourns over the loss of his friends, becoming saddened and despondent. It is more than likely, very probable, that this unfortunate turn is what led Xehanort down the path of darkness, or would at least allow him to discover the Dark Road. Something to consider is that while his ideals in his old age were to balance out the light and darkness, he came to the eventual conclusion that a universal reset was the better plan in order to eliminate all of the darkness. As the current state of the world, the light and the darkness, and that battle they constantly wage wasn't good enough, or rather, the light in itself wasn't good enough. What it seems to me that a certain idea, something that was instructed to him during his time as a Keyblade wielder in training in Xehanort, was challenged by the demise of his friends. What was challenged was the concept of light, the overall concept of light. That light was the end-all be-all source of life, good, and it had to be protected, and in turn it shall protect you. Something that was believed to be precious, a gift from the unseen land known as Kingdom Hearts. Something that deep down, while the darkness may pervade everything, the light will never go out, it will never fade. But it seems, from first-hand experience, he came to know that teaching to be a lie. It seems that his turn to the dark road could be from him feeling like he was betrayed by the light. Something that he came to know was the source of good and safety, and he had to see his friends, who also believed in that concept of the light, to be let down and killed before his very eyes. With that understanding, he was not strong enough. The light was not strong enough. It was not good enough. And then that would lead into quite a twisted understanding that from what he witnessed, the light was not strong enough to face the darkness. He had to gain true strength, the ultimate strength, something that can overpower that of the darkness. And he would turn to that darkness to gain the strength needed to destroy the darkness, so that he could end the suffering in which he witnessed firsthand, which led him down to his path of finding the Keyblade and to use it to summon and channel Kingdom Hearts. As he said in Kingdom Hearts 3 in his youth, that the light of friendship is definitely one of a potent power. However, the darkness of being alone is a power even greater, a statement that tells the tale of him being better off alone. It is thanks to this particular insight that this scene, this standoff between young Xehanort, Sora, Woody, and the others definitely hits different in perspective. And despite only dealing with episode 1, it definitely gives us the hints of traumatic experiences lived by Xehanort that led to his choice to the dark road. And with episode 2 and beyond, we may even get more understanding on how Xehanort gains the aptitude for darkness and possible setup points for that endgame. Overall, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road is planning to give us a ton of insight to Xehanort as a character, as although he is the antagonist, the villain of the Kingdom Hearts series up until Kingdom Hearts 3, overall I fit him as a very gray character, someone who teeters on both the understanding of the light and dark, good and evil, right and wrong, as although he committed many crimes, was the cause of much destruction, and has had many heinous events caused by his many selves. He did it all for the overall benefit of the worlds, the people, and Kingdom Hearts in the endgame. Which brings up the issue in morality, with the age-old question being that do the ends justify the means? But to Xehanort, that was good enough. And that he knew in his heart that was the true plan, the true path that he had to believe in to his last breath. And that gives us a shift in perspective, to which it led to a divide of those within the Kingdom Hearts community. That Xehanort's deeds are too much for him to draw any type of sympathy going forward. But it is to that end, to my understanding, that a character like this, with the insight we are being given through Dark Road, is not particularly asking for forgiveness, as this was his path, his road. It was what he believed in, and given another chance, he will probably do the same thing over again. And it is this strong will that made Xehanort a strong character. But although a character like this isn't seeking forgiveness through insight, what is being asked for is understanding. To understand what he went through, to understand the source of his sorrow, the source of his ideals, the source of his power, and to understand why he did what he did. When you combine both of the insight of his beginning and his end, you don't have to forgive Xehanort. You don't have to forget what he did, but you must come to understand his character, his background, and his ideals, and understand that he truly is a great character. He is nothing of the two-dimensional sort that must be given one glance and be marked as evil, because as you can see, it is not as simple as that. Because although he walks with a smile on his face, he seems to harbor a deep sorrow of what has happened to him in his past that led him to the dark road, which brought us up to where we are now. Let me know what you think about Xehanort's sorrow and the insight we are given to Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. Why do you think Xehanort took this dark road in the first place? With his dark past, do you come to understand the character? Leave your thoughts, theories, and comments in the comment section below. And while you're at it, be sure to like, subscribe, and share up the video to bring this understanding to others. Keep it here at HMK as I post Kingdom Hearts content every week. And big thanks to my Patreon supporters for help making this video happen. If you want to find out how you can support HMK for just $1 a month, check out my Patreon info in the description box below. Alright, you guys, until the next Kingdom Hearts video, until the next story element of Dark Road, this has been HMK, and I'll check you guys later.
So you haven't subscribed to HMK yet? Don't piss Xemnas off.